It's a bit chillier than I expected today. Anyway, not to worry, down in the shed. And I'm now happy with my three-way point. It's working effectively for me, doing what I want it to do. There are a couple of minor changes that I might make to it. So I'm going to have a little run over it now to show you what it does. And then later, I'm off to Blackpool. First, just to say that a lovely young man in the junior section at the Model Railway Club has given me this van. I'm going to put it into to make up the train. He suggested that I add a bit of weight to it because it is very light. I think he's quite right there. What I would also do, it's an old Lima model, is put metal wheels on. That adds a little bit to the weight. I might be tempted to change the couplings. Weather the frame. You see the frame is all white at the moment. It will look better weathered. And then find a couple of pins to insert to create some buffer heads. I don't know what colour the buffer beam was on these. But then I'll have a look before I complete that. I've just tested the frogs. It's hard to show you the voltage while I'm on camera. And they're working fine. So in here what I've got are insulating rail joiners. Oh, let's use the other hand. Here, 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 and here. Yeah. Now, I'm not actually using the frog to transfer the power through to the rails. So what the situation is that the track power is permanently fed to this and this rail, and I haven't got isolation switches in, so they're permanently live. What happens is a little bit further on, you do have a point here, and so the point here, I think you can see the solder there for the track feed on that one. Can't see the track feed. Is that the track feed on this one? Into here. So it does mean that this point is able to switch the track between either that or that road, and then it splits again further on. So it's possible to just power up one of the 4 eventual roads at the end on that one, and similarly, but the branch line is permanently powered. Now if you're running a loco light engine, then it will stop as soon as it hits the frog if the point is set against it. But if you were reversing up a train like this, then they'd just crash over a reverse point. So the fact that you've got power onto your way is something to be managed. Right, so now to it. So the point's working. The switches are putting the right current from these rails here onto the frogs now, which is very good. And I've worked out that the studs on my Mimic panel operate the different directions of the point in this form. Stud A plus C, touch that for that. A plus D, obviously if A is already done, you just switch from C to D. B plus D for the bottom one, and obviously if you're switching from there to there, you just switch from B to A. It might be possible to rewire the studs so that it's more logical on the Mimic, but it's not possible to have it absolutely foolproof on the Mimic diagram. But this works for me. I know it's A plus C. So let's do that first of all. A plus C, and that should have set us for the upper road. Let's take it away. The coupling didn't work on that one. We'll do it the next run. Okay, lovely. See if this will couple up. There's a reason for changing the coupling. It hasn't coupled up. A plus D for the next road down, the centre way, it's a three-way point. Don't want to send it too far. And then finally, B plus D for the bottom diversions. Oh, that's just dirty track, isn't it? On there. So, oh yeah, let's go back. Then switch it to center off. There we go then. So it's functioning fine. The only refinements that I'm not going to do now would be to reposition the wiring from the Mimic to see if there's a more logical way I could sit down and try and work something out. And to consider whether I bring the track power feeds up to some switches on the control panel in order to isolate the goods siding as it is there, the engine shed as it is on there, and the branch line. But at the moment, it's not isolated. You've got power to it all the time. So I've fed the track power through to the other side. What I would advise is, and it's simple here, keep it so that you can swap over the wires to the switches and the point motor easily. And then if something's not quite working as you want it, you can change it. I am able to do that because the point wiring comes to here. I've temporarily twisted the wires together here, and I can reinsert them into the connector block now and leave it because I've got it working and I know how it's working, and I didn't want to spend any more time trying to sort it out. What I've not done, as I've just said that, is the track power feed, which has gone through to the other side. That's not come to isolation switches on here. That could do it. The difficult one is the frog polarity, because that's a very local wire on the frog switch, and because you've got a drop of wire from there, and fortunately I don't need to change it. I don't know how you would do that. Clearly the way to sort that out is to swap the wires underneath or change the position of the switch. But there we go. If there's anything I can possibly help with, I will. But thank you all for your comments. I'm now got a functioning layout again, having found my track pin and reassembled things underneath the baseboard. In closing, just to say that if you want something which is, what would I say, more professional than this idea of, mine are stud contacts. A friend of mine at the club uses switches, momentary contact switches, but he's used I've stolen this idea from him. You learn which two switches or two studs to change the appropriate point. Anyway, more professional way is to provide a wafer rotary switch. So this switch turns and selects one of a number of wafers. One of the wafers might do the frog polarity. The other wafer energizes or connects up to the appropriate point or points. And then you press a push button, and the push button will change the points as required to set the way. And so your rotary switch would have three positions: upper root, middle root, lower root. And an alternative method is the diode matrix method, where again you have some switches, upper root. I've not shown the circuit, somebody else will do it. Upper root, middle root, lower root, you set the diode. Let me put in a thing which would swing between those, the diodes, and then you push a button to fire the points to give you your appropriate directions. I'm just thinking there might need to be 2 diodes from each position, of course, as it happens. Anyway, there are circuits available for 3-way points using the diode matrix, and I'm assuming somebody's got a circuit for the wafer switch, or you can work that one out for yourself. Yes, that's not what I'm going to do unless I really feel I've got a lot of time on my hand.